Happy Wednesday, Detroit. Thanks so much for joining us today on this July 16th. I'm your host, Bree Teamer, and you're watching Fox 2 Detroit live at 3.
Live from the Fox 2 newsroom, this is Fox 2 Detroit.
Well, we have flash flood warnings in multiple areas throughout the Metro Detroit area. Let's toss it over to Lori Pinson so she can give us a live update on what's happening out there. Keep us all safe. Lori, I heard thunder coming down. It's a lot happening outside.
There's a lot. It could always be worse. So we're just going to let you know what's going on right now. Howard, will you take those graphics for me there? There you go. We have a flash flood warning that is up. That's until 5:15. A warning has a bit more weight than an advisory or watch. A warning means that things are happening right now. And for that, it means that there's some flooding that's occurring in the area. Now, this specifically is up for northwestern Macomb County and northeastern Oakland County. And you can pretty much track where it's located right now. Where you see the little box there, that's actually the boundaries of the flood advisory. So what's happened is there's been at least 2 inches to about 3.5 inches of rain that has fallen very quickly. Fast motion there, all associated with a cold front that's trying to move throughout the state. And so what we're looking at is periods of rain training. We call it training when it rains consistently over the same area, and that's caused some flash flooding. It's caused some stream and urban flooding as well. So if you know anyone in those areas, specifically like Auburn Hills, Rochester Hills, Rochester, those are the ones of concern for us. Troy, you just had a storm pass on through Sterling Heights. You're getting into some rain right now. Let's take another perspective. This just gives you an idea of the cloud tops, and the higher, the taller that they are, the more rain or moisture associated with it. So as we look at these, just to the east of Wixom, beginning to approach Livonia, it indicates some very heavy rain associated with it. We'll go back down to the surface, and we're also watching the potential for some lightning strikes that have moved across the area too. Last count for last hour was at least 21 particular strikes. Hopefully no one is without power. We're zooming on off a little farther on off to the west because another storm is holding together, beginning to approach Adrian and Blissfield. This one too has very heavy downpours associated with it. That particular system does not have a flash flood watch warning advisory, none of that with it, but we're going to continue to monitor it, specifically because downriver is often pretty prone to some flooding. I'm extending this a little farther outward there. You see where the boxes are located near Green Bay and Milwaukee. Those are actually looking for tornadic development. So this is holding together. The front has not crossed through as of yet. Down near Chicago, they have a severe thunderstorm watch and warning in effect too. So we will be monitoring these storms throughout the day and the evening hours as well. Fox Futurecast, you can follow the timeline at the top of your screen. You can see it's adequately portraying that one sail that's beginning to approach Port Huron by 4:30. Still across the city, Flat Rock, Taylor, you're getting into some heavier rains than Port Huron, Port Alston, Pigeon, beginning to approach New Baltimore. It's just updating. This is good news. Over near Sterling Heights, Rochester Hills as well. As we head on toward your 6 o'clock hour, and maybe you're thinking that's my evening commute, or I might be going to get groceries, or maybe going to get dinner. It's slacking off just a bit. We still, again, with the flash flood warning out, some areas, obviously, just because it expires doesn't mean all the water goes away. You still need to be careful if you are approaching standing ponds of water. This is 8:30 tonight, and still some rain across the city, so we'll continue to monitor that. You see that one storm, that one line holding together overnight. So past midnight, we might still be hearing some rumbles of thunder, seeing some lightning, heavier sail beginning to approach Port Huron, not done. As we go into your morning commute, things look a lot better. Still kind of on the humid side, some clouds in place. Excuse me. As we head toward 4 o'clock in the afternoon, some scattered showers still associated with it. Wanted to give you a live look there. You can see that flag whipping. That's another component to this particular storm, very gusty winds. Our winds over the past couple of days have been primarily out of the north, and it was a much drier, didn't feel nearly as humid. Oh, that's changing in front of that front. Winds south-southwesterly flow, at least 15 to 20 miles per hour. If it's not raining in your area, I encourage you maybe to secure your patio furniture, or maybe you have citronella candles sitting on the table or something. You don't want those to become airborne. This might be the time to go on out and move those. 80 degrees right now in the city. All right, let's take a look. For this evening, temperature still hovering around that 80-degree mark. Wind still on the gusty side. As we look ahead toward your Thursday, still again, chance for some showers, isolated storms, mainly early, very early. And then Friday, a day we can just breathe. 77 degrees, not nearly as humid. And then we kind of get ready to get back into it. Although 83 is pretty seasonal for us, there's a chance for storms to redevelop for you on your Saturday. But Bria, I have to make sure that, we make it known that the flash flood warning is up in those areas. Obviously, it's not smart to drive through standing water because you don't know how deep it is and what impact it will have on your vehicle. So we're hoping that just these cut-ins, letting people know that, please be safe. We don't want to come do a story on you.
Right.
We really don't.
Exactly. Thank you very much, Lori. We'll check in with you in about 20 minutes, see if anything changes.
Okay, thank you.
Well, 2 women are dead in an apparent murder-suicide in Warren. It happened on Joanne Smith Drive near 10 Mile and Mound. Both women were found dead from gunshot wounds. One of the victims was a 74-year-old homeowner. The other woman shot was a 76-year-old from Fraser. It's not clear what their relationship was at this time. Now, we'll have more on this story throughout the day, so make sure you stick with Fox 2 to get the latest developments. And a suspect is dead after a police chase in Brighton. Brighton police officers say they were trying to stop the driver of a black Dodge Charger for driving recklessly on West Grand River just before 11 last night. The driver ended up taking off on an old US 23 highway. The suspect sideswiped an oncoming car, spun around, hit another car, then rolled over. He was pronounced dead on the scene. The other driver suffered minor injuries. Well, the Macomb County prosecutor is pushing to charge a Detroit teen as an adult following a crash that killed a father from Madison Heights. The crash happened early Saturday morning near 11 Mile and Van Dyke in Warren. Police say the 16-year-old stole a car in Roseville, then led officers on a chase and ran a red light, killing Alex Habib. Habib was out driving for Uber. Police say they believe the teen is part of an organized theft ring.
One that flees from the police, who's already stole a car, should be given 2 years in prison. And for juveniles, you stay in the youth home until you're 18 and then off to prison.
And that suspect is due back in court on Friday. Well, a jury convicting a Detroit man today in a disturbing kidnapping case where he sexually assaulted a woman over a multi-day period. Fox 2's Amy Lang has been following the trial and joins us live with more. And Amy, deliberation started on Monday afternoon, and now we finally have a verdict.
Yes, the jury got that case Monday afternoon, as you mentioned, after hearing days of really disturbing testimony, both from the victim in this case and then also the investigators involved in the case, and even from the defendant himself. He did take the stand in his own defense. We're talking about Andrew Payne. You see him there getting ready to listen to the jury's verdict, and they did find him guilty of 5 counts of criminal sexual conduct in the first degree. Now that carries up to life in prison. So
wow.
Very, very serious charges, very serious conviction and possible punishment. They did not find him guilty of torture. They did find him guilty on the kidnapping charge, and then they found him guilty on another count of intent to do great bodily harm, less than murder, but they did not find him guilty of felonious assault. But all in all, 7 of the 9 counts they did find him guilty on. And again, the jury, they took their time with this. Obviously, they had a number of counts to consider. They did, as we mentioned, listen to several days of testimony. And really what Andrew Payne is accused of doing is luring a college friend to his home on the east side, promising her an interview with a pastor at the church across the street for a job. Instead, she finds herself in his dilapidated home on the east side, where she is subjected to a couple of days of sexual assault. Pretty graphic stuff that obviously we're not going to detail, but definitely very, very serious, very concerning. He took the stand and said, that this was all role play, it was all consensual, that essentially the victim was just kind of making this up and angry with him because he didn't pay her. Obviously, the jury did not buy that. The victim escaping from a second-story window after a couple of days and going for help. And so, this happened back in 2022. And so this has been, quite a time, I think, for the victim. The prosecutor said in court that she was still in therapy and pretty traumatized by everything that had happened. We have not been able to reach her today, but clearly this is, I'm assuming, the verdict that they were hoping for. As far as Andrew Payne, his attorney says, he has the option to appeal if he should decide to do that. But sentencing will be August 1st on this case.
Do we know how long this woman he had held hostage in his home? Do we know how long that period was?
It sounds like it was about a couple of days. Again, he said this was all, consensual. Clearly the victim in all this said otherwise, and the jury believed her.
All right, Amy. Well, thank you very much. A very unfortunate case, but it seems like the family is getting justice. So good news there. Thank you very much, Amy. Well, a 13-year-old boy is behind bars accused of accidentally shooting another teen on Detroit's west side. This happened Monday afternoon on Kercheval Avenue. Thankfully, the victim is expected to be okay. It's cases like these that has the state health department sounding the alarm on gun violence, calling it a public health crisis.
I've seen so many little kids get shot through carelessness by adults. Owning a gun, it's a right. But it's also a privilege. You're supposed to have common sense when you own a weapon.
Police say the owner of the guns is also facing charges under Michigan's secure storage law. The law requires gun owners to secure their guns if minors are present. If something happens, that owner is liable for harm caused if a minor gets their hands on that weapon. Well, the University of Michigan is under federal investigation after 2 Chinese scientists with ties to the school are charged with smuggling biological materials into the United States. The U.S. Department of Education opened the investigation, saying both cases raise concerns about Michigan's vulnerability to national security threats from China. Investigators are demanding U of M financial records and information about research collaborations with institutions outside of the United States. Just getting started. Teams are still searching for victims from the Texas flooding. Authorities now say they plan to drain at least one lake to clear potentially hazardous debris. More on the efforts after the break. Welcome back to Fox 2 Detroit Live. We're giving you a live look outside. We do have that flash flood warning right now that's out right now, but we are looking out at Mount Clemens right now, where you can see the sky is very gray. You can even see a couple of raindrops flying across the camera. It's definitely looking gloomy and gray out there. Hopefully we will have an update for you, see if we have any idea of when these flash flood warnings are going to disappear or go away in the next 15 minutes. We'll check in with Lori Pinson on that. Well, the devastation in Texas is still gut-wrenching over a week after catastrophic floods killed more than 130 people. Crews with the search and recovery operations have been working around the clock and say they will not stop until they find all of the missing victims. Fox's Kaylee Schuyler joins us live from Ingram, Texas. And Kaylee, what's it looking like out there?
Hi, Bree. So right now I'm standing at an RV park and there is just devastation all around me. So this is kind of what crews are having to work through right now, as they're still looking for more than 100 victims. So we saw some crews out here earlier. There were canines running along the riverbank. There also were some boat crews out on the river. But we're told the Guadalupe River just rose rapidly in the middle of the night. So a lot of people who lived here, they were woken up by screams and first responders banging on their doors. But it's just devastating to see here someone's previous home, their RV, now just totally unrecognizable. And you can see their belongings are just scattered. There's a laptop in here. You can see the pots and pans. There's even a kayak sitting in the debris. But thanks to one nonprofit, Emergency RV, one person living here now has a new place to stay, but there are many more still in need.
Those families came in our survivor intake form. We have over 70 families now that are requesting assistance with shelter in Texas. That number will grow as the word continues to get out that we're active there. But the first family was a single mom with 4 young children. They barely escaped their RV. Some of their neighbors got killed tragically in the flood, and they're just going through a lot of trauma right now.
The silver lining in this devastating situation is that volunteers are coming from all across the country to pitch in. Several nonprofits are setting up at a church just up the road from the RV park, and volunteers are offering meals, water, therapy, and even IVs to crews out on the ground and locals. They say hundreds of people are coming to the church every day.
Chefs, we've been here since the 5th, and in those last 11 days, we have served over 25,000 meals.
We wanted to just come and help as we could. So we flew in for a few days and wanted to help. Yeah. Alone, he probably loaded 250 cases of water into the vehicles. They came through hundreds straight from the highway. So it was a lot to see. It was heartbreaking.
So the Maryland volunteers you just heard from, they said they had been watching the news, saw the devastating coverage down here, and they just had a few days and wanted to come down and pitch in. But I've also spoken with several crews and volunteers who say they are going to be here for the foreseeable future because, as you saw, Bree, there is plenty of work still left to be done. Bree?
Yes, plenty of work still left to be done. And, getting rid of that lake is also something that I know is going to take a process and going to be hard to do. But I do hope that they find some of the missing people there in the lake there. Thank you very much, Kaylee.
Thank you.
And following Fox's initial donation to the Kerr County Flood Relief Fund, our generous viewers have answered the call to action across all Fox platforms, raising $6.5 million to aid Central Texas communities. Visit go.fox/TX flood relief, or you can scan the QR code that you see right there on your screen to support relief and rebuilding efforts. Well, with more vacation-bound people hitting the streets for the summer, civil engineering experts are sharing data that could help make those journeys safer and more effective, and it may involve avoiding left turns. Fox News' Gary Baumgarten takes a closer look.
Streets this summer, you won't be alone. Recent data from Deloitte finds more Americans are planning summer travel this year compared to last, and more are opting for road trips.
If you look at sort of the traffic patterns throughout the year, the summer months we have the most vehicle miles traveled, and with that additional vehicle miles traveled, there come more crashes, more fatalities, more serious injuries.
But if your journeys involve heading through cities, there may be a method to help reduce the risk for accidents.
So the idea that we have is to eliminate left turns in downtown streets, particularly downtowns with sort of like a grid-like pattern.
According to Vikash Gaya, professor of civil and environmental engineering at Pennsylvania State University, about 61% of crashes at intersections involve a left turn.
The reason that the left turns are so dangerous is that you have a vehicle that's turning in front of the path of oncoming traffic, where the driver of the left-turning vehicle has to judge when there's a sizable gap in order to make that left turn. If they misjudge that, they get hit by that oncoming traffic or hit the oncoming traffic.
On average, cars avoiding left turns in urban areas will travel about an extra block to reach their destinations, but this doesn't always mean added time to the trip.
By simplifying the signal timing at the intersection, you're going to travel through more intersections, one more intersection on average, but you're going to spend less time stopped at each intersection. And that has huge advantages because it means that you'll actually get to where you want to go faster.
Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
Well, when most people see video of a meteorite falling, they say, wow, that's pretty cool. And they carry on. But one guy from Arizona immediately started packing his bags and headed to Georgia. He was one of the many that was on the hunt for a piece of a meteor that crashed into Georgia back in June. NASA says it was going roughly 30,000 miles per hour when it entered the Earth's atmosphere and unleashed the equivalent of 20 tons of TNT. Robert Ward went out there and managed to track down a probable landing site, and it paid off big time.
You see that and go, that was from the meteor.
Well, when you're working with them all the time, it's just like a car collector, somebody that analyzes autographs or oil paintings or whatever. You learn what to look for. So this is the largest piece of the Georgia fireball that I recovered.
In all, Ward found 10 meteorites from the June incident. He now has them on display at his home in Prescott amid his growing collection. And he's hoping to add more soon, with plans to search Arizona after several people reported seeing meteorites in that location as well. Well, here is something that's really cool. Some stellar photos released by NASA. These were taken 3.8 million miles from the sun's surface. The Parker Solar Probe began its closest approach to the sun in December of last year and was able to gather these images showing the sun's outer atmosphere, which is called the corona. It also captured solar wind, which is actually a consistent stream of electrically charged particles from the sun. I don't know how I feel about this. We're getting closer and closer to the sun. It is cool. It is cool to see. All right, the Concert of Color, celebrating 34 years of food, culture, and music. The show's curator joins us live up next to tell us more about it. Welcome back. Well, starting today, Detroit's Cultural District will be filled with the sights and sounds of music and more from so many diverse cultures for the annual Concert of Colors. Joining me now is Shahida Mausi, president of The Right Production, which is the company that owns and operates the Aretha. And Shahida, thanks so much for joining us today.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
It is such a pleasure to have you here. And I see you're very on theme with your shirt today. It's a whole map.
That's it.
I'm loving it. So let's talk about the Concert of Colors. It happens every year. This is the 34th year. Now, for anyone who hasn't attended, tell us what it's all about.
Well, Concert of Colors is the opportunity for people to experience wonderful music, dance from around the world. It's the cultures that bring us together. It's the arts that bring us together. We get to know each other a little bit better. It's people from all different walks of life come to Concert of Colors. And actually, the first home performance space of Concert of Colors was at Shane Park, which is now what we call the Aretha Franklin Amphitheater. So they're coming home, and I'm excited.
I love that so much. So is there a theme this year? I know you said there's going to be different cultures coming together, mingling. It's really about community this year, but is there a special theme?
Well, you know, at the Aretha, we're going to have drummers and dancers. We're going to have reggae, but we're also having a very special, iconic performance by Miss Mavis Staples. Now, Mavis Staples is known for gospel, but she sings rock. She sings all kinds of music, and she had a very special relationship with Aretha Franklin. They recorded in Detroit, and I was there for the recording. And to have her come to perform at the Aretha, I'm over the moon. It's going to be a very special night.
Yes, we love a diverse queen. So tell us all about the cost. How much does it cost to attend this?
It costs absolutely nothing. Absolutely
free?
nothing.
Free 99.
All free as in free. The performances are free. And that's a commitment that Concert of Colors has made and maintained all these years to bring free performances to the people of the city of Detroit, to the community, to our guests and our visitors. It's really an opportunity to immerse yourself in the cultures of the world.
Is there a donation that you're looking for? Anything like?
There's always an opportunity to make a donation.
Okay.
Go to the Concert of Colors website. You'll find more information about the history and all the performances that happen at the various venues around the city, from the river to Midtown. There's a lot going on this weekend, and just the perfect time. You know, the weather's good, the people are good, the music is great. Come on out.
Now, there's a lot happening downtown this weekend, but there's also a lot happening at the Aretha all throughout the summer, really. Yes. What's to come for the iconic riverfront venue?
Well, you know, there's a lot going on. We're going to have Southern Soul with King George there on Saturday. Mavis Staples is Friday. King George is Saturday. That's not a free show. And then we're going to welcome again Kim, Detroit's own legendary Kim, fabulous Kim. He is going to be celebrating his birthday at the Aretha. So on next Friday and Saturday, there's Kim tickets. And that's where you come together. Also, we've got Maxwell coming for 2 days.
Oh.
And the only location in the United States where the Count Basie Orchestra is going to be performing. So that's just some of what we've got going on. And there'll be more that's still going to be announced before we close it out Labor Day weekend.
How long has the Aretha or Shane Park, how long has that been there?
We have been celebrating all season the 40th anniversary.
40
of this
years,
beautiful,
wow.
beautiful venue. It hasn't always looked quite like it looked now. It started with a slab and, you know, your umbrella hanging over your head, but it's now beautiful. You haven't been there, and I love to welcome people that have not had the experience of seeing and experiencing the Aretha on site. It is absolutely magnificent to watch the boats come in the backdrop of the stage. And it's 5,000 seats that are covered and 1,000 seats on the lawn. So, you know, from barbecue that's being prepared for you and our specialty blue drink that just people come from everywhere to get. A nice frozen blue drink on the evening of great music and the breeze from the river. It's lovely. It's lovely. And it's beautiful.
Yes, it really is. Right there on the river as well. Now, you said 40 years this has been around. I mean, how do you feel like you've been able to keep the spirit alive all of these years?
Well, you know, it is part of the real heartbeat of the city of Detroit every summer. And it's been our honor and our privilege, my company, The Right Productions, and it's a family business. My sons and my grandchildren now also help to make what happens there happen. It's a family affair, not only for us, but for our audiences, our ushers. Some of them have been there 26, 30 years. There are people who care about what the music is, how it makes them feel, and that's what we try to do to make it just absolutely special. You know, Detroit summer is very brief, so you've got to get it in.
Right.
We make sure that you get it in at the Aretha, and you know, it's the place to bring. If you've got company coming in town, bring them down. You've got family, make it a special night.
Yes, anytime I've been to the Aretha or anytime I've seen any videos of the Aretha, it's always lively. There's always something going on down there, and it looks like such a great time, and everyone's just getting along, mingling, and whatnot. Is there any specific show that you're looking forward to this season?
Well, really, Kim's birthday. Kim's birthday.
He's from here too, so
he's
that's
from
exciting.
here,
Yeah,
you know, so to have the opportunity to celebrate this man who puts such great energy into the world, that's important. We try and put things on stage that, you know, that lift people. We've had country music this year. We've had rock music this year. We've had gospel,
a little bit of
we've had
everything.
R&B. We've got, you know, a little bit of hip hop here and there. It's great music, and that's what we really care about, putting something forward that lifts people's spirits, that lifts the community. That's what our goal is.
I love that. It's more than just the music, right? It's about so much more.
It is, but it's
Yeah.
really consummate concert of colors stuff too. You know?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
This is what we do, and
So-
why they're coming back. I'm excited.
Yes, I'm excited too. I love music and I love going to concerts and having a good time. So for our viewers at home, let us know where we can get tickets for all of this. Can we just go on thearetha.com?
Absolutely. Make sure you go to thearetha.com. Don't get scammed. There are a lot of scam sites out there. Don't get scammed. Ticketmaster.com or thearetha.com. That's it. You do not want to go to any other sites, or you will be paying twice the amount that the actual tickets cost, or just come to our box office, which is the most economical way to buy a ticket.
Okay. Thanks for
6
giving
days
us
a
that
week.
little tip.
Absolutely.
Now, Kim's birthday, it's a public event, right?
It
Yeah,
is.
it's public. So
Yeah.
we can go
Yeah.
and enjoy and celebrate with him. That's
Yes.
great. Thank you so much, Shahida.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Well, coming up in our next half hour of Fox 2 Detroit Live, the Trump administration wants to move on from the Epstein files. But the Democrats and even some of the president's own supporters aren't ready just yet. The very latest on that coming up. Welcome back. Giving you a live look outside at Mount Clemens. We can see this shot is a lot clearer than it was, about 20 minutes ago, 25 minutes ago. So that's great news. It looks like improvements are underway. We'll check in with Lori Pinson right now and see what's happening with that flash flood warning. Is it still sticking around? Is it gone? What's happening?
It is not gone.
Okay.
The flash flood warning is still in effect until 5:15. Remember, warning means that things are happening right now. And so there is some flooding that's occurring there. And over in Oakland Township, thunderstorms, they've had as much as 2 to 4 inches of rain, and the potential for maybe an additional half of an inch there, but in some other spots, there's a potential for even more. Now, while you're still looking at that, an extra thing has popped up too. There's a flood advisory, which was supposed to expire at 4:45, and that one is still in play. But that one is mainly for urban and small stream flooding, and that's Macomb, Oakland, St. Clair counties. Now, the other one that has popped up and is extended until 6:15, this is new. It's all in effect until the low-lying and poor drainage areas begin to clear so much. Up to 2 inches of rainfall has fallen there. That's in Oakland. They are anticipating maybe more flooding that could occur. Remember, this is an advisory, so this gives you a heads up that this is what could occur. An additional 1 to 2 inches of rain is possible over near Pontiac, Rochester Hills, Madison Heights as well. All right, let's leave this and show you what actually is going on for you. And you can see where the little box is still located. The bulk of the heavier rain right now is moving on over there toward Port Huron, a little farther south toward Warren and Farmington Hills. I'm going to continually update this. All right, so Rochester Hills, though they've had quite a bit of street flooding. In fact, I just got an update. Let me read to you what it says about what's going on in Rochester. Yep. Several inches of water covering the intersection of Collins Road and Orion Road. So if you are familiar with those, maybe that's the way you take home or you're about to head on out, just know that there are several inches of water. You may want to turn around. Don't attempt to drive through it. All right, let's leave that and go a little bit farther south. There you'll notice towards Sterling Heights, a little pocket there in Troy, also picking up some heavier rains. Big Beaver, just to the east of Clawson, up near Utica, they've had some rain as well. I'm showing you more of a topside 3D view. Remember, the higher that you see these, the higher those cloud tops are, the heavier rain that's occurring underneath it. So let me give you a different perspective there. Over near Troy and extending down near Warren, what we just looked at, and beginning to approach Waterford. All of these are cells that are going to produce pockets of heavier rain going topside again for you so you can see. So that does line up with what's going on in Sterling Heights right now, beginning to approach Livonia. Let me give you another perspective. We're checking in. We were looking at this half an hour ago. This storm did move through Adrian and is now moving through Lenawee Junction, heading on over toward Blissfield. This is not under any flood watch, warning, advisory, but still brings very heavy rain. I just wanted to point that out to you as well, Tecumseh also. So giving you an even wider perspective. The watches and warnings associated with the movement of the cold front back towards Chicago, Green Bay, Milwaukee, still in place. We'll watch that carefully because if it crosses Lake Michigan, we will have more storms to contend with. Fox Futurecast, let me put this into motion for you. 5 o'clock, still rain in the area, specifically over near Port Huron, just moving a little bit further on off to the east, beginning to approach Utica, New Baltimore, moving over into Windsor. Windsor, I see you there. Make sure you get that in there. As we go towards 7 o'clock, another elongated, heavier storm over there near Adrian, beginning to move on over there toward Ann Arbor and Ypsilanti. We get a break, and you can see another line on off there to our west. That was 9:30 going overnight. Still the potential for some heavier rains to come on into play for you before we kind of get rid of it as we get into Thursday morning, a chance for some scattered showers as well as we head toward the 5 o'clock hour. All right, we're going to look back at this live picture that we looked at a little bit earlier. You can see the wind is a factor with this as well. Initially, winds were out of the north, bringing in a more comfortable air mass. Right now, it's hot, it's humid. It just doesn't feel great. It's 79 degrees for you as well. But the winds, though, will still be pretty strong, 10 to 15 and gusty. A few little raindrops on the camera lens. Current conditions, still 84 degrees out of Metro Detroit. That's where we actually measure how hot it will be, though it might be warmer or cooler in your neighborhood, and how, for example, it's right near 90 degrees in the thunderstorms. In Pontiac, it's currently 78. So for this evening, temperatures still settling around 80 degrees, wind still gusty, 73 overnight, so mild and muggy. And a look ahead at your extended forecast. Let's all look toward Friday, because that just looks like it's going to feel incredible after this not high humidity at all, 77 degrees. So we take that nice deep breath on Friday, get ready maybe for some storms coming back in on your Saturday, and the heat returning by Tuesday.
All right, just a minor setback for a major comeback, it seems.
I like how you said that.
There we go.
There you go.
All right, thanks, Lori.
You're welcome.
Well, House Republicans blocked a Democratic push to release files connected to Jeffrey Epstein. The House voted 211 to 210 to kill an amendment from South Bay Democrat Ro Khanna. That amendment would have ordered Attorney General Pam Bondi to publish the Justice Department's files related to the Epstein sex trafficking investigation. Prominent MAGA figures have expressed outrage at the Trump administration's failure to deliver promised revelations, including an alleged Epstein client list. The FBI now says such a list does not exist.
These files were made up by Comey. They were made up by Obama. They were made up by the Biden. It's going to be up to her. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release.
President Trump suggested his administration could release more information, but says the decision is up to Attorney General Bondi. In a press conference yesterday, Bondi dodged questions about releasing the records. She also made it clear she does not plan to step down despite her calls for resignation. Well, 7 of the candidates for Detroit mayor sharing the stage and their visions for the Motor City. We are just weeks away from the primary, and each candidate is hoping viewers and voters can connect with their message.
I'm an innovation specialist. I'm an industry consultant, and I converge
Priscilla.
relationships and stakeholders all the time. I want to do that for the city.
We need a mayor who gets started, plug in, and go. I have that background. Not to mention the fact of being able to effectively manage a crisis.
You are going to need experienced leadership. So whether we're talking about reducing property taxes or growing more small businesses or helping the businesses that we already have here, we have to continue to move this city forward in a way that's beneficial for everyone.
My vision is to build a diverse economy in the city of Detroit. Make Detroit the international city that it should be. Make Detroit a smart city.
I want Detroit to be known as the city, the best place in this country for you to go start a business and grow a business. Detroit needs to be the city that's known as being big enough to matter to the whole world,
No, Brianna.
but small enough for you to
But
matter.
it's also
in it.
Bree.
As a city, we are a business, but we also have to have the
How's the
empathy
baby?
of the people in mind. We also have to have the empathy of the understanding of what needs to happen in the neighborhoods, what needs to happen in small business.
My vision for Detroit is to
Good.
create
How are you?
a destination of
Yeah, you look
opportunity,
great.
one in which housing is affordable,
Yeah.
where our educational system is strong,
I like that top.
where
10
our
seconds.
neighborhoods are walkable
Alrighty.
and vibrant, where transportation is accessible, and where there's economic opportunities within reach for every single Detroiter.
This camera. And the primary is coming up on August 5th with the general election scheduled for November. Now, the Accounting Aid Society has a variety of programming happening this summer, including summer taxes, credit application assistance, the growing Student Futures Program, and small business tax and financial education. And President and CEO of the company, Priscilla Perkins, she joins us live to tell us all about it. Priscilla, happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. It's that good old hump day. And you know, Brianna, the great thing about Accounting Aid Society in its 53 years of service to the Michigan community is that taxes still happen in the summer.
Right.
Because let me tell you why. You can have certain benefits. And one top among them is the home heating credit that particularly benefits vulnerable citizens like seniors, handicapped, disabled. We encourage people to come in because what that does is put money in your pocket by reducing your heating bill this winter. And we provide service for that through November. And for residents of Detroit, there's the home owners property tax exemption credit that you can apply for.
Oh, okay.
We have about 4 sites open in Detroit, 1 in Ferndale, 1 in Dearborn, and if you don't want to travel and you're good with email and downloading documents, you can come to us through Vita Tax Aces.
Oh my goodness, that's so convenient. Technology, I tell you. And I will say, I did see your office, your Ferndale office. I was driving down Woodward the other day and I was just like, is that Priscilla's place? It's super cool.
It is Accounting Aid Society's place, and I'm honored to be right at the border of Detroit and Ferndale. You know, you kind of hop over a couple of blocks, you're in the city of Detroit, hop over a couple of blocks, you're in the city of Ferndale. But it's where you can come. Another thing you can do in the summer is resolve issues with the IRS.
Yes.
If you have gotten a letter, and it's particularly around the fuel tax credit, there's a new tax credit that some unscrupulous tax preparers have unfortunately caused problems for tax filers. Come and see us, www.accountingaidssociety.org, or call us at 313-556-1920. And if you get that letter from the IRS, we can help.
Now, one thing I did want to ask you about is with the Congress spending and the big, beautiful bill that was just recently passed, how does that impact taxes?
Well, I think it's going to, some people are going to pay more and some people are going to pay less, right? But for us, what we focus on, if you are eligible at $67,000 household income and below, if you have a small business, we have a lot of wonderful workshops, small business owners this summer, or if you are interested in getting resolution, we're here. Whatever happens in Congress happens.
But Accounting Aid Society will be here to assist you with it all. Now, what documents do people need to bring? Is that an issue you run across?
Oh, yeah, that's the biggest issue.
Yeah.
We have it on our website, accountingaidssociety.org, what to bring. Click on that. Definitely your W-2s. Definitely your government ID. Definitely your Social Security cards to prove who you are. There are going to be 1099s if you're in Social Security or you're in retirement. There's going to be I think I said W-2 form. So anything that proves proof of income. What did you bring in to your household? And you have to have the documentation to prove it. So go on our website, click on Get Tax Help, click on What to Bring, and we have it all outlined for you. And you can always call us at 313-556-1920.
Now, something new to the company is the Student Futures initiative that's growing. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I love it. It's under the umbrella of our youth initiatives. And what we have done for the past 2 summers is repiloted a program we started before COVID, which allows rising high school juniors to come in to our sites, get trained as volunteer income tax assistants, which is what we run, the VITA program, and learn how to do taxes, learn how to engage with the public, learn from our officers and all our wonderful supporters about what it's like to be in the finance, in finance careers, how you link taxes, finance, and community service.
Yeah.
That is the impression we want to make most. What we do at Accounting Aid Society is put close to $30 million of cash back into the pockets of families each year. That's through taxes and credits.
And that's such a great thing to be able to say, you know. We're not only helping you with this process, but we're putting money back into the community and back into your pocket. So that's fantastic.
And that's our goal, that it's about economic stability and equity.
Yes. So Priscilla, you told us the website and you told us the number, but tell us one more time for our viewers so they can get it all, they can write it all down now. So for our viewers at home, get your pen, your paper, your phone, put it in your notes. Priscilla's going to tell you how to get in contact with it.
Or video me on the TV screen. Accounting Aid, that's AID, society.org. Our number is 313-556-1920. We would love to hear from you.
Priscilla, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Brianna. It's great to be here.
Well, lots of Tigers getting in on the All-Star game in Atlanta. We'll show you how they did coming up next in sports. Welcome back to Fox 2 Detroit Live. Well, did you see baseball's Midsummer Night Classic? Did you?
I did.
Of course you did. Now, the entire league focused on the city of Atlanta, and the best part was that all of you fans right here watching us, I saw it right here on Fox 2, and somebody else who may have seen some snippets or a few, Woody Woodruff, he's here to tell us what happened because the Tigers, our Tigers players...
Look, first off, I got to stop you right off the bat, okay? It's not like I didn't see a few snippets. I watched from first pitch to last pitch.
Well, I know that, Woody. It was a joke.
Yeah, okay.
Laugh.
Well, then.
No,
there's no hee-heeing because let's be honest, we had 6 Tigers at the All-Star game in Atlanta, and not one did anything positive, okay? So we'll leave it right there. Starts with Tariq Skubal. He got the start, and he gave up 2 runs, okay, but I thought it was kind of weird. There was some weirdness also in the game because they had it mic'd up where you could hear the pitcher and the catcher at the same time, and I thought that the time limit as far as the pitch count goes wasn't really enough to allow guys to have a conversation in that time. That was kind of weird, but, give baseball credit. They're trying to do different things in the All-Star game to make it attractive, so that was just one of the things. Now, the thing that didn't make it attractive for Tigers fans was seeing Skubal early, give up the 2 runs. Casey Mize was in the game. He also gave up a home run. This is it right here. And so, it's just for the Tigers and the American League because the National League eventually won this game on what they call a swing off, where it was just guys hitting home runs out of the ballpark, unlike in years past. I honestly thought that they were going to use the current rules where they put a guy on second base and then, play it from there. But it seemed like they were doing this on the fly, and let's just get 3 guys out there to hit home runs, and Kyle Schwarber got it done. He was named MVP.
Well, it seems like the Tigers have a little bit of a break after that. They're not playing until Friday.
I'm going to stop you again. There is no rest for the wicked right now. And the Tigers, they came into the All-Star break losers of 4 straight. So let's start right there. This team has got to get back on track, and that means coming out on Friday against the Texas Rangers in Arlington and getting it done. Reese Olson's going to get the start, and last time out, he wasn't good either, giving up 6 hits in 5 innings against Seattle. So the Tigers really need to turn things around and get this train back on the track because yes, they still have an 11.5 game lead. Yes, they're still one of the best teams in baseball, but we have seen how that can evaporate very quickly in Major League Baseball.
Yes, if they want to continue being the best in the league, they got to turn things around, all right? Let's talk about the Lions for 30 seconds.
Lions camp, get ready to start real soon. It's crazy because it starts a week earlier now with the Hall of Fame game being on the Lions schedule. They'll take on the Chargers in Canton, Ohio. So that means that everybody starts a week earlier. I believe it starts, camp starts. In fact, there may be some rookies and young guys out there starting like today. So we'll see the Lions getting right back into gear. As I said, they kick off in about 2 weeks in Canton. Yeah. So I don't know if we're going to see like the starters out there, like a Jared Goff or Amon-Ra St. Brown or anything like that. But we will see some guys who are going to be important to this team and fighting for position. So it's nothing to take lightly. The Lions will be back at it real soon.
All right, we shall see. Woody, thank you very much.
Hey, not a problem. Did you hear about Amon-Ra St. Brown's cereal?
I did.
Oh, I got to get me a box. I got to get me a box.
You're going to get a box?
Yeah, it's like a Honey Nut Cheerios kind of thing. Something. Yeah. I got to go get it.
Yeah, I think it's Reese's Pieces.
Is it?
It's Honey Nut.
No, it's I thought it's Honey Nut Cheerios, and it's like handstand something, or I forget what it's called, but go out and get a box of it because anytime you see Amon-Ra St. Brown, he will definitely sign that. I know I would.
Right. All right, that's a collectible right there.
Yes, definitely a collectible.
All right, Woody, we got to get out here.
See you later.
All right, that's going to do it for me. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for joining us here on Fox 2 Detroit Live at 4 on this Wednesday, July 16th. Happy birthday to my mom. It is her birthday. Yay.
Happy birthday, Mama.
All right, let's get into your news of the day.
Live from the Fox 2 newsroom, this is Fox 2 Detroit.
Well, we do have flash flood warnings in multiple areas right now. Let's check in with meteorologist Lori Pinson joining us here with the details. Hey, Lori.
Hey, thank you so much there, Jamie. Yes, we're still under a flash flood warning. It doesn't expire until 5:15. There's been the flooding that has been occurring in portions of Oakland County, specifically on over near Rochester and Rochester Hills. Let's go to the graphics. There we go. Flash flood warning up until 5:15. And we have some hazard reports for you there. Over near Lenawee, there's been more than 1 6/10 of an inch of rainfall. Also over near Rochester, as I said before, flash flooding. Dutton Road flooded and washed out between Orion and Livernois Road. Flooding of streets and homes in the area. Good to know that there. And also, we told you about this one a half an hour ago at the intersection of Collins Road and Orion Road. So if those are locations that you normally go to, give yourself some extra time. Don't drive through standing water. You don't know what impact it would have on your car. Just turn on around, go and take a different direction. As we look at your sky tracker for you right now. Now, the box again, that indicates where the flood advisory is. One up till 4:45. The other one expires at 6:15. These are advisories that tell you there's a potential for flooding in the area. The warning indicating that there is flooding that's occurring. Let me give you several different looks. So we're looking a little farther down to the south. Right now, Farmington Hills, having very heavy rains in place and even some lightning associated with this. So most of up near Oxford and Troy has begun to clear out and move on a little farther away. In fact, as I zoom in for you, over near Sterling Heights, had a very large thunderstorm come through there with cloud to ground lightning. Same over in Big Beaver, over near Mound Road. But things are now beginning to slack off just a bit. One way of looking at this, the darker the colors, the more intense the rainfall. This is our 3D imagery. Since we have been showing you this over the past couple of hours, normally the higher the cloud tops are, the heavier the rainfall amount. They just have more moisture to deal with. So these have, and just updated, that's great. These have shrunk just a wee bit. So looking over near White Lake, over near Plymouth, Bad Axe, these were towering a lot higher than that. But approaching Farmington Hills, you can see that storm is looking like it will continue to drop. A bit of heavier rain in place, especially as we think about maybe within the next 15, 20 minutes. All right, Sky Tracker got it a little bit wider for you as well. If you're watching us over in Port Huron, you've had some heavy rains come through there, still not totally done. Moving light to moderate showers over near New Baltimore and Utica. Let's go a little farther on off there to our west and south. We were watching the system that moved through Adrian and Dundee. This still has the potential to hold together. We're still looking at heavier rains. In fact, there was a special weather statement that was just issued for them where they are looking at wind gusts up to at least 50 miles per hour. So if you have your patio furniture out, you want to make sure that it's secure, those cushions, maybe those citronella candles, you don't want them to become little missiles as this comes on through. So be aware of that. Very strong thunderstorms near Oakley. Also moving on over near Nelson Brant. So we'll continue to monitor that for you as well. Our precip chances still pretty good going through the evening hours, 7 o'clock, still storms in the area. But let me get a little more specific for you with Fox Futurecast. This is our 4 o'clock version of it. There you can see the storms are lining up with what we just looked at on Sky Tracker. By 5:30, still some storms in the area, specifically maybe on over near Ypsilanti, over near the city, a little farther north, Macomb. Moving on over, I see over in Windsor there, you still have some showers in place, but the rain slacking off a bit as we get towards 7:30, but still holding together down there, Dundee and Adrian, beginning to approach Monroe, Flat Rock, Taylor. Looking back at 9:30, there's a pretty good line that's not in our area yet, but quickly moving on over to the east, but diminishing somewhat as it gets closer to midnight and 1 o'clock and kind of moving a little farther on up away from us to the north and east. Starting your day off on Thursday, things look nice and quiet, cloudy and humid, but a chance for some scattered showers to redevelop as we go toward 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Your current conditions, just to give you a heads up here, 79 degrees in the city as well as in Pontiac. I wanted to also just explain something on here. You see where there's some sunshine and you're thinking, yeah, it's over. Normally, when it's sunny like this and we have storms that are coming through, that actually helps to fuel how unstable the air mass is, so that when the next line of storms comes through, it could bring a potential for even heavier rains and perhaps the potential for it to be severe. So just because you see some breaks in the overcast, that sun is helping to make things unstable, heating up the air as it rises. Just kind of give you a quick lesson there. I know you just want to know if it's going to rain. Take a look at your forecast as we move throughout the day. Temperatures have reached in the 80s, overnight low right around 73 degrees. So still mild and muggy to start your day on Thursday. Again, a chance mainly in the morning for stray storms. There's some pop-ups maybe about 4 or 5 o'clock in the heat of the day. And then Friday looking like a great day. Jamie's off that day, I believe. Sure is. And so am I, girl.
We'll enjoy it, won't we?
77 degrees
Ooh.
then, and a chance for some rain coming in.
Can't wait. And for the record, we love your weather lessons, okay?
Aw,
Let us know a little bit of, we know you know a lot. We want to know a little bit of that.
It's in there. I just got to get it out.
Just get it out.
Get it out, let you know what's going on.
Well, we appreciate it.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Lori.
You're welcome.
All right, in more news, the Oakland Mall in Troy is temporarily closed this afternoon because of flooding. The mall posted a statement to social media saying they're experiencing flooding across several main concourses and portions of the parking lot. It's possibly due to a burst pipe. The mall is closed for safety and security reasons as they assess the situation. We'll, of course, let you know when it reopens. A guilty verdict today in the trial of a man accused of luring a woman to a home and sexually assaulting her.
As to count one,
Guilty of criminal sexual conduct in the first degree, multiple variables.
as to count two,
Guilty of criminal sexual conduct in the first degree, multiple variables.
as to count three,
Guilty of criminal sexual conduct in first degree, multiple variables.
count four,
Guilty of criminal sexual conduct in the first degree, multiple variables.
Andrew Payne was convicted today on multiple charges. Prosecutors say in 2022, he texted the woman about a job at the church across from his home. Then he held her at gunpoint and told her she would become his sex slave. Payne says it was consensual and the victim never voiced her concerns. She testified she was too scared to speak. Payne will be sentenced next month. The man accused of murdering Danielle Stizlicki more than 8 years ago is back in court this afternoon. Floyd Galloway was a security guard at the business where Stizlicki worked in Southfield back in 2016. Investigators believe he lured the 28-year-old to his house, then killed her. Her body was never found. Galloway was first charged more than 6 years ago, but his trial has been delayed multiple times. 2 women have died in an apparent murder-suicide in Warren. This all happened on Joanne Smith Drive near the 10 Mile and Mound. Both women were found dead from gunshot wounds. One of the victims was the 74-year-old homeowner. The other woman shot was a 76-year-old from Fraser. It is not clear what their relationship was. We'll have more on this story throughout the day right here on Fox 2. Well, a suspect has died after a police chase in Brighton. Brighton police officers say they were trying to stop the driver of a black Dodge Charger for driving recklessly on West Grand River just before 11 last night. The driver took off, ending up on Old US 23. The suspect sideswiped an oncoming car, spun around, hit another car, and then rolled over. He was pronounced dead on the scene there. The other driver suffered minor injuries. The Macomb County prosecutor is pushing to charge a Detroit teen as an adult following a crash that killed a father from Madison Heights. The crash happened early Saturday morning near 11 Mile in Van Dyke in Warren. Police say the 16-year-old stole a car in Roseville, then led officers on a chase and ran a red light, killing Alex Habib, who was out driving for Uber. Police say they believe the teen driver is part of an organized theft ring.
One that flees from the police, who's already stole a car, should be given 2 years in prison. And for juveniles, you stay in the youth home until you're 18 and then off to prison.
Well, the suspect is due back in court on Friday. A 13-year-old boy is behind bars accused of accidentally shooting another teen on Detroit's west side. This happened Monday afternoon on Kercheval Avenue. Thankfully, the victim is expected to be okay. But it's cases like this that has the state health department sounding the alarm on gun violence, calling it a public health crisis.
I've seen so many little kids get shot through carelessness by adults. Owning a gun, it's a right, but it's also a privilege. You're supposed to have common sense when you own a weapon.
Well, police say the owner of the guns is also facing charges under Michigan's secure storage law. The law requires gun owners to secure their guns if minors are present. If something happens, that owner is liable for harm caused if a minor gets their hands on that weapon. Well, Fox 2 Detroit Live at 4 is just getting started. Coming up, our Derek Kevra gets an eye-opening lesson about what some local students are learning at summer weather camp. We'll have that story for you when we come back. Welcome back to Fox 2 Detroit Live at 4. It is 4:13 right now as we give you this live look out over the city. We've got those clouds in the skies. Remember, there are some flood warnings in some areas out there. If it happens to be an area that you're in, turn around, don't drown. Well, a special event today to help young people heal from trauma. It's a different kind of Summer Olympics. Our Lauren Edwards was there and joins us with a report. But we do want to let you know Lauren is in Mount Clemens where they're getting a lot of rain. So our signal isn't too great. That's why she looks a little fuzzy. But she's still going to tell us what she's working on. Lauren.
Yes, thank you, Jamie, so much for that. And just so you know, you're getting rain. It's going to be a lot of rain, a lot of lightning. But it was such a fun event that they had out at Redford at MCHS, which is like a family services place. And there are several kids, I would say over a dozen, between the ages of 10 and 18, who just had a day of fun in the middle of a week of fun. We arrived and they were just speed walking. It was a speed walking competition. And then later on, they had a beverage making competition, which I thought was really cool. Mixing, they got to create their own beverages, mixing some unhealthy choices, some healthy choices or whatnot. But it was just all very active, you know, getting them, getting their hands dirty and sweating a little bit. And as you had mentioned earlier, Jess, this is designed, though, the whole week is designed to help them heal from trauma, help them to overcome trauma. And they've had some serious trauma. It's really incredibly sad what they've gone through in their young life. Some of them really are only 10, 11, 12 years old. But it's all designed to help them heal, help them, you know, use physical activity as a means to heal, use healthy eating as a means to heal. So it was really fun. They were fun to talk to, get to know just a little bit. We didn't get to know them a lot and we couldn't show their faces for very obvious reasons. Want to keep them private, but it was just a good time that I hope, you know, that it sticks with them forever. And so they live there as well, which is really cool. But I just hope it really does stick with them forever.
Tell us about some of the traumas they may have faced to where something like this is healing for them.
Absolutely, it's healing for them. We interviewed 2 people who were there, one like a director, another one who's a counselor there, and she says they see within days how beneficial the place is, you know, how eating better changes their moods, how physical activity changes their moods, so it's already super beneficial.
Well, this is so amazing. We love to see this, and clearly the kids are enjoying it. So hopefully there are more events like this to help uplift their spirits after going through that trauma. Out there dealing with the weather and getting back here safely. We're sad we can't see your beautiful face clearly.
Yes.
But at least we can hear your beautiful voice.
I know. I'm so sorry, but like
it's okay.
It is what it is. You know what I mean?
Hey, there's only so much we can control, right? Live TV.
Right.
Thanks, Lauren.
All right.
Short-term rentals, they're unsupervised, unlicensed, unregistered, and uninspected hotels that are in residential areas.
The talk of the town around Dearborn today, the city council's decision to limit where short-term rentals like Airbnbs and VRBOs can be located. Every single council person present on Tuesday night voted in favor of keeping them out of the neighborhoods and only in the downtown district.
There's only 75, I think, in Dearborn, right? Correct?
Yeah, that's estimates, yeah.
So the number of neighborhoods we have 100,000 is the population, if not more. So I don't think...
You have 30 seconds.
I don't think that there's, you know, if you do the math, I don't think it's that big of a concern.
Residents obviously divided on the issue and packed city council chambers as a result, many sounding off during the public comment section of the meeting in hopes of swaying city leaders and, in this man's case, preserving his livelihood.
Renting a home, a room in our home is not a big business. It's a necessity. It helps me pay my mortgage and bills, and it's how I can afford to stay in the home and the city that I love.
Those who live near some of the rentals certainly don't love them. In fact, they describe them as a nuisance. They said the people who stay in them are often noisy. The properties lack maintenance, and parking, well, that's a problem too.
Yeah, I have people parking in my driveway. I get up in the morning and there's cars from New York in my driveway.
Those types of stories and other community feedback helping to convince the council that zoning changes are necessary to balance the needs of the neighborhood with those of small business owners. Those owners must also register their rentals and have a license through the city.
We do not try to pass any rules that are purposely to hurt or hinder anyone. We want to make sure that we keep the neighborhoods intact.
Again, all of the city council members at last night's meeting did support this new ordinance. It is set to take effect in January. Reporting from downtown Dearborn, I'm Robin Murdoch, Fox 2 News.
All right, thanks, Robin. Well, the University of Michigan is under federal investigation after 2 Chinese scientists with ties to the school are charged with smuggling biological materials into the U.S. The U.S. Department of Education opened the investigation, saying both cases raise concerns about Michigan's vulnerability to national security threats from China. Investigators are demanding U of M financial records and information about research collaborations with institutions that are outside of the country. The roof of a Dearborn church caves in, leaving 100 members searching for a new place to worship.
So I came back and
I was like, something looks different about the church. And then I realized it's because half the roof wasn't there.
Yeah, just a sad situation here. The Solid Rock Church now looking more shaky than solid. We're told a worker stacked shingles all in one spot instead of spacing them out, and that triggered the collapse there. While church leaders look for a temporary place to call home, they rented out a library and the Dearborn Heights Community Center for Sunday services. Well, 7 of the candidates for Detroit mayor sharing the stage and their visions for the Motor City. We're just weeks away from the primary, and each candidate is hoping voters connect with their message.
I'm an innovation specialist. I'm an industry consultant, and I converge relationships and stakeholders all the time. I want to do that for the city.
We need a mayor who gets started, plug in, and go. I have that background. Not to mention the fact of being able to effectively manage a crisis.
You are going to need experienced leadership. So whether we're talking about reducing property taxes or growing more small businesses or helping the businesses that we already have here, we have to continue to move this city forward in a way that's beneficial for everyone.
My vision is to build a diverse economy in the city of Detroit. Make Detroit the international city that it should be. Make Detroit a smart city.
I want Detroit to be known as the city, the best place in this country for you to go start a business and grow a business. Detroit needs to be the city that's known as being big enough to matter to the whole world, but small enough for you to matter in it.
And as a city, we are a business, but we also have to have the empathy of the people in mind. We also have to have the empathy of the understanding of what needs to happen in the neighborhoods, what needs to happen in small business.
My vision for Detroit is to create a destination of opportunity, one in which housing is affordable, where our educational system is strong, where our neighborhoods are walkable and vibrant, where transportation is accessible, and where there's economic opportunities within reach for every single Detroiter.
Well, the primary is coming up on August 5th, with the general election scheduled for November. The 10,000 Scoop Challenge is coming to Detroit, but it's more than just indulging in delicious ice cream. I'll tell you how it's helping the community after the break. Welcome back to the show. Supporting the community has never tasted so sweet. Moose Tracks Ice Cream bringing its 10,000 Scoops Challenge to Detroit with funds raised benefiting our local Salvation Army. Joining me now is Major Dawn Worthy. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us about this 10,000 Scoops Challenge and how it works.
This is an exciting event next Wednesday, July 23rd, between the hours of 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. at Cadillac Square Park across from Campus Martius. I'm still new to the area. I've only been here 3 weeks, so I'm still learning it all. But Moose Tracks, Country Fresh Moose Tracks Moose Tracks is partnering with Country Fresh to provide 10,000 scoops of ice cream that will benefit the Salvation Army. With every scoop given, and I got to tell you, this is free ice cream.
Wow.
10,000 scoops of free ice cream that will benefit the Salvation Army. For every scoop given, the Moose Tracks will donate $1 to the Salvation Army to benefit those in need in our area.
That's amazing. So the community has a very easy job here. Just show up and get some free ice cream, right?
Yes, very much so. Now, this is a challenge. We only have 4 hours to do this.
Oh, man.
So we need the community's help. I would love to eat at least 100 scoops myself. Ooh. I probably could if I didn't have to wear my tunic, but we need help. So we need the Detroiters to come on down and join us for ice cream. It's a great way to give back. It's an easy way to give back because you're eating free ice cream, and we receive that donation from Denali.
Yes, and tell us, how will these funds, $10,000 I believe is the goal, how will that help the Salvation Army of Metro Detroit?
Well, the Salvation Army in Metro Detroit has 13 locations, and in those locations we have helped, on any given year, we serve over 2.5 million meals in a given period of a year. And then we also provide over 447,000 beds for shelter. We have youth programs. We have programs that benefit those who are struggling with addictions. We have programs for adults, for older adults, camping programs. There's just a lot that we do that a lot of times the community doesn't realize all that the Salvation Army does.
Yeah, I mean, I knew the Salvation Army did a lot for the community, but you just listing things off there were a couple that even I was unaware of. How long has the Salvation Army been around here?
The Salvation Army has been in Detroit. I'm not really sure.
Not a long time, I'm sure, though.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a long time.
Since 1865, the Salvation Army has been around, and so we have just enjoyed serving the city of Detroit. And I'm excited to be here and get to know the city even better and to get to know the community. So I hope you'll come out so that I can get to know you as well.
And talk about your role with the organization and what you do.
So I am the area commander for Metro Detroit. And like I said, I've been here 3 weeks and I'm getting to know the area.
Oh, you're brand new.
I am brand new. However, I did live in Pontiac a year after my husband and I were married in Roseville, Michigan.
Wow.
And we like to say we drove a Ford F-250 at that time, and we're still driving a Ford F-250 even all these years when we come back.
The Motor City loves to hear that. And then
Ford.
you have some roots here, so you're not too far removed.
Yeah. So.
What would you say to encourage people to come out and support this event? And is there any way that they can support the Salvation Army if they're unable to make it to the free ice cream scoop challenge?
Well, we always welcome resources. We really want to help the community in any way that we can. And so your resources help in great ways. And so if they can't come out to support us through this ice cream challenge, although, again, free ice cream, but if you can't come out, we have our kettles that are coming up. We have donations that you can always send a check in to Metro Detroit, and that will stay in the area. 82 cents of every dollar given goes right back into our programs and services. So we are here to help, and we want to help in any way we can. And we couldn't do it without the people of Detroit.
Yes, you guys are here to help, and there's a lot of ways the community can help you.
Yeah.
For more information, we will put a link on our website at fox2detroit.com. Major Dawn Worthy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Well, coming up, the Trump administration wants to move on from the Epstein files, but Democrats and even some of the president's own supporters aren't ready just yet. We'll tell you the very latest from Washington coming up. Welcome back to Fox 2 Detroit Live at 4. Another live look out at downtown Detroit. 4:33 is your time, 83 degrees out there. Well, President Trump spent years hyping the release of the files connected to sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. But his reversal last week has ignited a backlash from within his own party and on Capitol Hill. Fox's Rich Edson has the latest.
The White House is navigating criticism from some of President Trump's supporters over the Justice Department's handling of the so-called Epstein files, the classified information the FBI compiled during its investigation of the late accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. After previously vowing to release them, President Trump has recently been pushing to move on, deferring to Attorney General Pam Bondi.
These files were made up by Comey. They were made up by Obama. They were made up by the Biden. It's going to be up to her. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release.
Today, Bondi refused to discuss the issue.
Nothing about Epstein. I'm not going to talk about Epstein.
Last week, a DOJ memo insisted there was no evidence Epstein maintained an incriminating list of powerful clients. That drew scrutiny, even from the president's supporters, and added fuel to unproven conspiracy theories of a vast government cover-up.
Epstein is a key that picks the lock on so many things.
Democrats are jumping on the Republican rift.
All of a sudden, it's like, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. There is no files. There was no Jeffrey Epstein. It makes us more interested.
An attempt to force a vote on releasing the files failed in the House along party lines. But even some Republicans are now joining the calls for greater transparency.
One of the worst human trafficking rings in American history run by this scumbag. And I think the more we know about it, the more we get out there, the better it is.
Epstein died in prison in 2019 while he was awaiting trial. The FBI says the evidence indicates he took his own life. In Washington, Rich Edson, Fox 2 News.
Aaron Jordan, producer of The Pulse, joining us now. And Aaron, what are the president's supporters saying about this? Or better yet, what would they like to see happen here?
Well, they want the files released, Jamie, and it goes to a lot of conspiracy theories that have been there over the years. Some that actually FBI Director Kash Patel and Deputy FBI Director as well, stoking QAnon conspiracy theories that President Trump is saving the country from a satanic cult of child sex traffickers. And House Speaker Mike Johnson, who we know is an ardent President Trump supporter, he's actually calling for the DOJ, saying, quote, put everything out there and let the people decide. Now, President Trump lashing out at his supporters on his Truth Social platform, saying they got fooled by Democrats, saying, quote, their new scam is forever what we will call the Jeffrey Epstein hoax, and my past supporters have bought into this expletive hook, line, and sinker. He called them weaklings, saying they haven't learned their lesson and probably never will. Now, you'll remember that they said that Attorney General Pam Bondi actually said in a Fox News interview that there was a client list apparently on her desk. She later came out last week and was saying what she was referring to was the file, the DOJ, of course, saying Jeffrey Epstein, that Jeffrey Epstein did not maintain a client list like a lot of people had claimed over the years. And there's the conspiracy theories as well that people want to take a closer look at Jeffrey Epstein's death. They're saying he didn't really take his own life in that prison cell. They're pointing to that missing minute that is in the jailhouse surveillance video, which the DOJ came out and said that the missing minute happens every single night and it's just part of the camera's resetting. So there's a lot of unanswered questions, and it really seems like that these questions aren't going away anytime soon.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see what happens here. Back here at home, we do know Attorney General Dana Nessel is putting pressure on lawmakers amid immigration crackdowns and those deportations. What's been her latest move?
Yeah, so she and several other attorneys general are calling for transparency. They wrote a letter saying that we're seeing ICE agents in plain clothes with no identifiers and fully masked making arrests, driving unmarked vehicles as well. And she also says that ICE doesn't coordinate oftentimes with state or local law enforcement, which makes identification that much more critical. She's concerned about people trying to impersonate ICE officers as well, and is urging lawmakers to pass legislation requiring agents to properly identify themselves. Now, we did talk to former Detroit Police Assistant Chief Steve Dolan, who says agents should identify themselves, have the badges, have clothing that says Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, ICE, on it as well, saying it's not only for the safety of people, it's also for the safety of the agents as well. He said, though, he does understand concerns about showing faces due to things like facial recognition being used for things like doxing, putting people's personal information out there, and swatting as well.
All right, Aaron, well, we're looking forward to the conversation on this and so much more tonight on The Pulse at 11:30, and every weekday night you can catch that as well as the replay on Fox Local. Thanks, Aaron.
Thanks, Jamie.
Well, an Army veteran just got the surprise of a lifetime wrapped in a big green bow. She was given the keys to her own car, and it's taking her one step closer to earning a college degree. Fox News' Ingrid Kelly shows us how this gift is helping to drive her future forward.
The moment I got the news, when I say a boulder, a rock, so much stress was lifted off of my shoulders.
It's tears of joy for Army vet Tony Gordon.
Your brand new vehicle.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Tony just received a key to a vehicle, a key that puts her in motion for a brighter future. This vehicle looks brand new, but it's been reborn through National Auto Body Council Recycled Rides, a program that provides reliable transportation in the form of a recycled vehicle to people and families in need.
We found out from Allstate that they had a vehicle that they felt we could repair and restore for the customer, and we wanted to join in and do everything we could.
It's a form of service to someone who served her country. Tony admits her service in the Army has helped to finance a higher education that focuses on public policy.
Aside from the loans that I came in with, I've been able to go through 2-3 degrees without having any student loan debt.
But still, there was a price to pay, an emotional one in the form of post-traumatic stress disorder.
Unfortunately, that led to a decline in resources, a decline in income.
Tony is now pursuing a PhD, but had to sell her car to make ends meet, putting her degree in jeopardy.
I was still figuring out, like, how am I going to get to work and how am I going to get to class? And I needed help. And so I sought out the SERVE program.
And we're one of the organizations that can help veterans on a long-term basis recover from PTSD. They need a hand up, not a handout.
So the Volunteers of America program nominated Tony to receive a recycled ride. And when she was selected, much like this vehicle, she was reborn also.
They didn't just give me a car, they gave me something that will last.
And now that Tony's been gifted this helping hand, her future is on the move.
I just can't express enough how grateful I am.
In Redford, Ingrid Kelly, Fox 2 News.
Well, a wildfire that leveled a historic lodge near the Grand Canyon is growing rapidly, and so far there's been little to no containment. It's one of several fires burning on the West Coast. One of the two near the Grand Canyon's north rim was actually a controlled burn that has rapidly grown out of control due to heat and wind. Now, people visiting say they're ready to evacuate the area if needed.
Just sad to see that it's happening and to see all this smoke.
Seeing the smoke, seeing the pictures that we've seen from last night, it's terrible.
I've been here 6 years ago and I don't remember it being like this, so it's pretty sad.
Arizona isn't the only state dealing with wildfires. Colorado's governor just issued a disaster declaration to free up money to fight 4 fires burning in his state. And in Utah, the Deer Creek fire near the Colorado border has now grown to more than 10,000 acres. Over the weekend, conditions were so bad it created a so-called fire vortex. Hundreds of people have been evacuated from there, and it's not clear when they will be able to return. Well, people on the East Coast battling a much different problem. Take a look at this video caught on a Ring doorbell camera. You can see multiple shipping containers being swept down the street as parts of New Jersey get slammed with heavy rain and flash floods.
It's a lot of damage, and to be honest, it's very rare. Like, we don't really see it too much.
I watched the container and other cars just roll right into the fence, busted open, people in the cars. It was terrifying.
Flash flooding killed at least 2 people who were swept off the road during the height of the storm. And intense rainfall created chaos in New York City, flooding a Manhattan subway station. Time now for another check of the weather with meteorologist Lori Pinson. And Lori, we checked in with Lauren, who's in Mount Clemens right now. She said it was coming down pretty badly there. So we know that that rain is there. We have some flood warnings as well.
We still have the flash flood warning when we get a huge amount of rain at one time and then it floods unexpectedly. So the flash flood warning expires at 5:15, but there has been emergency management is reporting that there's been flooding in Oakland Township between 2 to 5 inches of rainfall. Now, where you see the larger square box, that was the initial flood advisory. That will be allowed to expire at 4:45. The other one, the flood advisory, up until 6:15. That will probably still stay in place until 6:15. Let's look at where we are right now. As far as rainfall goes, again, that larger square indicating the flood advisory that will be allowed to expire. You can see the reason why, because the bulk of any rain is pretty much slacked off from that area. Still a bit of rain over in Farmington Hills, Farmington, and over into Warren as well. As we go in closer toward Harrison, St. Clair Shores, about to just pick up some light to moderate showers as well. No worries there. Let's give you that 3D look again. And so we can see that our storms are shrinking somewhat. Less amounts of heavier rain. Again, the higher these cloud tops are, the heavier the rainfall will be. And slacked off to Novi, to Northville, and also over near Canton as well. Take another look. You can see a few isolated shower storms just moved through Ann Arbor and Ypsilanti. Sterling Heights getting a bit of a break, so was New Baltimore. Give you another top side view. So there was that heavy rain, that storm that went through Ann Arbor and has pushed a little farther east, but then was extending farther on down to the south toward Trenton and Temperance, now beginning to approach South Monroe as well. So still not totally done with the rainfall as of yet. Give you a wider view here, and still storms holding together over near Milwaukee and Green Bay. They were looking for tornadic development a little bit earlier. Severe thunderstorm watch and warning on down near Chicago. So all of that associated with the cold front still expected to move on over to the east and bring us more scattered showers and isolated storms. In fact, our precip chances still remain pretty strong. We get toward the 6 o'clock hour, maybe when you are planning on going out to dinner or heading on home, slacks off a bit, and then maybe some redevelopment past midnight of some scattered showers and storms. Temperatures did reach on up toward the mid-80s for some of us. Rain-cooled air down, making it 72 degrees in Ann Arbor. Still very humid in place, very gusty winds still associated with this. 82 right now in Windsor. Port Huron checking in at 75 degrees. So for this evening, temperatures remain hovering around that 80-degree mark where the storms haven't come through yet. Winds still remaining pretty gusty. Overnight low about 71 degrees, so mild and muggy to start your day on Thursday. And then maybe a chance for some isolated shower storms earlier in the day on Thursday. Slight chance for some redevelopment in the heat of the day toward 4 or 5 o'clock. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, much more delightful on Friday. Jamie's smiling because she's off. 77 degrees, me too. And then as we go into Saturday, back to work, chance for some scattered showers. Temperatures again pretty consistent. Heat returning as we look on up there toward Tuesday.
Lori, I am smiling because I'm off, but I don't know if you saw someone's hand cleaning the bird cam. It was just a random hand.
So that we don't know whose hand it was.
We don't know.
The bird didn't turn around and bite him. It could be some investigative reporting.
Yes.
Dave Spencer's coming up behind me. Maybe he's got an answer.
We'll see what we can find out.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Lori. Okay. Well, kids are out of school right now, but many of them are still spending time learning this summer. At Schoolcraft College, they're hosting a weather camp. Fox News' Derek Kevra got a chance to see what some future storm chasers are up to.
Hi, guys. Hi, everybody. Hello.
We were learning about the different clouds, the type to look for, how we know when rain is coming.
We made a weather journal, so we had to predict what weather would be tomorrow, today, and yesterday. We learned that there's many different kinds of clouds.
How many?
So many I can't count.
Yes, me too. The water droplets, they have to turn into the clouds somehow. Do you know how to say these words? These look like very, very big words to me.
Yeah.
Do you know them? Say them.
I don't know how to say them.
That's okay, either do I. And it's my job, and I have no idea. I just make them up. 1, 2, 3. Whoa! Look at our clouds. It sure does.
We learned about the atmosphere.
Is it raining right now?
I don't know.
Well, how are we going to figure that out, Oliver? And I see that you have colored in the lightning bolts.
Uh-huh.
Do you know how lightning bolts form?
No.
Yeah, me neither. Wait, Oliver, you and me, we could go outside and look.
Oh.
You want to go?
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go look. That looks like that's like a 3-day forecast. I do that on TV. It's not as good as yours. Instead of raining, it is
sunny.
You nailed it.
I think it's gonna be partial sun because it's gonna take time for those clouds to move away.
How long have you been plotting to steal my job?
What? It's gonna be raining outside and you should stay inside for a little while.
You get that tornado forming with the spinning. You see it? You see it? Oh my gosh, that looks really rainy.
It was today. When it's sunny and it's summer, I like to go swimming in my grandma's pool.
Your grandma has a pool? Can we all go to the pool? Sure. Guys, we can all go to Alice's pool. Yeah. Derek Kevra, Fox News.
All right. Well, a local college is helping to make sure students are workforce ready. Our news dispenser, Dave Spencer, joins us now with more. Dave, how does this work?
Well, I'm actually going to talk about something different, if that's all right with you.
I'm afraid.
How about we talk about the story that I'm working on today? That was last week's.
You know what's funny?
Go on.
I was not here last week.
That's why I was in there.
Because I was on vacation.
You know,
so
Rob
that was the
Wolchek,
first thing I saw.
He said, I'm going to set a trap for Jamie. And I'm going to put in last week's script. So they have to talk about this story again.
Dang,
But
it
let's go
sounds
back
like a
in the
good
archives.
story.
That is a good story.
Okay.
That's a great story.
I'll watch
That's
it
on
sometime later.
FoxNewsDetroit.com. The story that we're going to talk about today. Do you own an EV, Debbie? Well, you probably don't own an EV.
No, I don't.
Because you don't compete with us that are parking out there in the EV.
I don't, and it's
EV
a problem
land.
I'm happy to not have.
It's all right. It's okay. What's holding you back? Is it the price? Is
that
it
and you have to
range
charge
anxiety?
it, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the chargers here in Michigan, there's not a lot of. I've been seeing more
There's not a
pop
lot.
up, but
Okay.
that's a big issue. I do a hybrid vehicle. I've been considering
yeah,
hybrid, but a full-on EV, I'm a little hesitant to do.
So there is a brand new automaker that's going to spring onto the market. They announced their presence in April of this year, and in 2026 they're going to start production, but they're taking reservations. You can go to slate.auto and literally design your EV from scratch. They got a template. You put in what you want, what you don't want. We're talking power windows, non-power windows, whatever you want to keep the price down and make sure that things don't break. You could customize it when you're building it, and you could customize it after the fact. They have this thing called Slate University that will tell you how to build it yourself if you want to do it. If you're into that, you're an auto enthusiast. And this is an EV starting at 20 grand. 20 grand. That's not a lot. The average price of a new car right now is around $46,000. So you can buy two of these and still be under the price of one new vehicle. And it's pretty cool. The way that they're designing this is happening right here in Troy. They've got people from Grubhub, they got people from Google, they got people from the auto industry, all collaborating on how this is going to work. But they're going to start rolling these out in 2026.
Wow.
That's just like the base model, what you're seeing on your screen right there. And you could customize it to literally look like anything you want, from decals to, we don't have a car stereo. We have your phone and a dock and a speaker, because that's what I listen to. I plug it in, and I
haven't listened to the radio in I don't know how long.
What's a radio?
I don't know what it
Nobody even knows
is.
what a radio. Howard might know what a radio is, but he's an old
That's so
man.
cool, though. You can see that's convincing. I want to design my own car.
It's cool,
and
so
it's not that expensive
20
too.
grand. So this is pretty cool for I want to buy a car for my 16-year-old, he's going to be 16 in a couple of years. So, if I could control the price, and it's an EV, so he doesn't have to fill up on gas, and he can only get so far, because you were mentioning you can only get so far in an EV without having to charge it up. So I could keep tabs on this dude who's just turning 16, and 20 grand. I like it. I like that
it too.
So they are starting to accept reservations. They announced it back in April, right? 2 weeks later, they had 100,000 people sign up, $50, fully refundable reservation, and you can start building that. They're also hiring if you're looking to work for this cool company called Slate.
All right, we are looking forward to your story tonight.
5:30.
Very cool, very cool. Thank you, Dave.
You got it.
Well, it is a robot helping Detroit restaurants repurpose food waste. We'll tell you how it works right after the break. Welcome back. A new robot hitting the streets and helping local restaurants repurpose food waste. Joining me now is Jim Saber, CEO of Next Energy. Welcome to the show, Jim. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So tell us about Next Energy and the work that you do there.
So Next Energy, we're a nonprofit corporation headquartered in Midtown Detroit. And our mission is to accelerate solutions that lead to smarter, cleaner, and more accessible communities and cities.
Where did the idea to create a robot that helps restaurants in this way come from?
It actually started from a similar project that we did a little over a year ago, where we were collecting waste, organic waste, from single-family homes in North Corktown and converting that waste into compost at a local facility.
Wow. Now, how does this robot work? It looks very cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. It's autonomous. Okay. So you'll see it going down the sidewalk. You'll see it stop at a stoplight. It has all the sensors and systems around it. So it can, it moves around people. It moves at the speed of someone walking. And in this application here, we're going from the Urban Tech Exchange, which is downtown Detroit on Woodward, to local restaurants. And this trip is to the Sam Morello, which is a NoHo property. And we're collecting food waste from the Sam Morello, taking it back to the UTX, or Urban Tech Exchange, to turn that waste into value-added products like coasters, menu holders, vases, and other things that the restaurant can use.
Now, is this still in its pilot phase?
Yes.
Could we see it branch out more in the future? What are your plans for that?
We think it will. I mean, we think the beauty of this application and this technology is that it can scale. We can right-size it. And so we can, have the number of robots, the size of the robots, and the conversion equipment to be the right size so that this could be scalable and sustainable in a community.
And how much does a robot like this cost?
Boy, that's a great question.
Is it pretty?
It's probably in the $10,000 range. Okay. Maybe a little bit more.
Wow. And how are you hoping this will help the small businesses long term, utilizing something as sustainable as this?
Yeah, so it helps businesses, it helps the community, because now we are able to collect the waste in a more sustainable manner. It's electric, so there's zero emissions. There's no traffic congestion. It can go on the sidewalk. It can go in an alley. So it can go to the back of the restaurant. It can be on demand, so the waste can be picked up when someone wants it to. And then it also helps the community, because now we're converting that waste into a value-added product and minimizing things that go into landfills.
Very cool. It'll be very nice to see more of these pop up in the city to help our local restaurants out. Where can people learn more about this?
You can go to our website at theurbantechexchange.com. You can also reach out to Next Energy and our project partners, Bedrock Detroit, the NoHo Group, Orange Sparkle Ball, and Ecosphere Organics.
All right. Well, Jim, thank you so much for joining us. Very cool what you guys are doing there at Next Energy. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much.
Of course. That's all for us here on Fox 2 Detroit Live at 4. Don't go anywhere. Fox 2 News at 5 is next. Have a great day. How are you?
I was only going to ask because I need to get it approved.
Can you press Bob?
Yeah.
Can you press